here we are live, and Lisa asked me to do the intro, and I'm not some master presenter, but hello, this is the intro.
Hello. That was good. That was good enough. Change it up.
So, what we're talking about today is the Matrix, but oh, but not the movie. We're talking about the concept, and of course, there's countless videos of this as the theme because obviously it's an infinitely relatable concept. If anyone's been awake in the truther realm for more than any amount of time, you certainly notice that the Matrix is dropping all the truths, to
Right.
say, just in brief. And so people think that this is an analogy, possibly maybe sometimes for like the spirit world, where our soul is kind of like plugged into this reality. And yes, certainly you could say that that's a legit analogy as well. But I am here to say that the Matrix concept, in which there is a false reality that is a construct, something that's manufactured, that is actually here and now interacting and interfering with we men and women right now, here today in the physical.
Yeah.
And so I think this, I don't have some grand presentation, but I do have some notes. And Lisa, maybe you could play the role of like uh, the question asker.
You betcha. That's what I'm here for. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
if
actually have notes, and a lot of it to do with actually, well, all of the different aspects of that.
the
But
the
you
legal
just keep on for
system,
now.
yeah, and of course, so what I'm talking about in general, an extreme general sense, is the legal system. Okay. And so let me give a fun analogy to start off with. And this is really how this is going to go. I've got a lot of kind of like little different thought nuggets to
Okay.
deliver. And then through gathering these little pieces of the puzzle, one can for themselves start to see the picture.
Yes.
So one fun analogy, and I've heard a couple other people say the same thing, is you can think of the legal system as a game of Monopoly, and
Yeah.
and your legal person, and I use the word your loosely because you did not create it. Um,
Right.
I should say your legal person, of which you are acting as agent of sometimes, is equivalent to like the silver thimble or the silver boat on the game board that
Yeah.
you're like operating, and it is a vehicle for you interacting with the game, in the Monopoly sense, but the commercial system in the real. And if you even reflect upon the classic, commonly discussed mark of the beast in mentioned in Revelation, well, it is a commonly known that without this mark, you cannot buy or sell.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, and people have been theorizing that that is some kind of identification, I guess you could say, just in some very broad sense.
Loose terms there, right?
Yeah, and so I mean, what is people's identification today? What has it been for generations? It's been the legal person.
Yeah.
So Revelation had it right. Without your legal person, you cannot do commerce. You cannot do local status. You cannot do any kind of commerce, whether it be local, state to state, or definitely not international. You can do man to man, under the table, bartering, that kind of stuff. But it's such, a small percentage of what's, worldwide commerce, that it's
Yeah.
kind of insignificant. So one could claim that this legal person is actually a perfect, fulfillment of the mark of the beast. I wouldn't say maybe perfect, because it's not like put in your right hand or forehead. But then we might be able to say, oh, well, does that actually mean, your right hand? Could that mean your action? And could your forehead mean your intent? I don't know.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's all about the person. And to continue on with the monopoly thing. So you all decide to play the game, via your consent, and you pick a avatar. And then there are rules that you didn't create, but you voluntarily are playing the game.
Right.
And at the beginning of the game, the banker loans you money. And now the banker, just like in reality, is special. They're not even really playing the game, but they're always kind of like in control of it. So obviously
Right.
that's the legal system, that's the monetary system, which is all entangled with the legal system. It's and yeah, and
Makes
so
sense.
you, the man or woman, you're playing this game and taking your turn, and you, the man, are kind of like, you're reaching down onto the game board and moving your piece around, and obeying the rules of the game. Well, I'm here now telling you that you are doing this with your legal person all your life just the same. So when you're signing up, when you're signing up for a credit card, you're not signing up you, the man or woman, for a credit card.
Right.
You're reaching down and moving your silver car over to the, credit card application form. You're signing up your silver car for a credit card.
Right.
And if we want to get real crazy and real specific, you can even look at the credit card application forms, which I believe to this day I haven't signed up for one forever, but I think they
Yeah.
have.
I know what you mean.
I think they have, the grid. So you have to do like block letters, like, you put one letter per block, right?
Yep. That's like, yeah, SATs and all that requiring that.
Yep. And they do that for a reason.
Hmm.
It is because the language, the preferred language, I should say, of the legal system when in writing is of all caps. And
Yeah.
now, as I said, that's getting really, really specific. I'm not even going to go that in depth tonight on any of the exact details. I just want to go over the general concept. And you know what, Lisa, I think I could just start by reading that blog post of mine.
I literally think that would be good because then people can relate also to the blog and the thing like what I read of yours. That I mean, yes, just do it. Sorry, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So maybe I should even share my screen so that people can
Yeah, does it allow you to
read.
on your end? I would think, right?
I think so here.
Okay, because Candy said, or I tried to walk her through it. Oh yeah,
Does
yeah. There
that
you
work?
go.
All right. So
So
I just have, I think, only like 2 posts on this blog. It's no big deal, but this is one of them. And I woke up at about 2 or 3 a.m. one day. It was actually on my birthday, August 14th. When I
my
when
child's
I
August 16th.
the Leo, yeah.
Yeah, August babies. I know all about those.
Anyway, yeah. So you are not a person, okay? Now that sounds crazy, and some knee-jerking people might come in and say, well, that's just semantics. Like, no, I mean, I'm being literal here. Okay, so let me just start here. So I've talked about this for years, but nobody wanted to listen. But now in this hoax virus epidemic reality, I don't know if I should say that now.
The realism and the nature of what it actually is.
This knowledge has real applicability, which, if you comprehend, can save your life. And of course, the context of this is that this can help you from knowing that certain things apply to you or not. That's why I woke up and wrote this at this time, obviously. So here we go. Here it is, straight to the point. You are not a person, and exactly 100% of any kind of law that claims you must wear a mask or get a vaccine or do anything at all, seatbelt, anything at all.
Anything.
Yeah, it's always going to say persons in the actual wording of the statute or code. Okay. And luckily for us, person is included in all state statutes, definitions, chapters, and it never includes man or woman.
Yeah. And I am in the legal job positioning areas. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Wow.
Etymologically speaking, person is, as many words are, a combination of two shorter words. Allow me to paraphrase some definitions. Per, meaning through or on behalf of. You kind of might say that, like, you assembled something per the instructions, right? Son, meaning offspring or creation, and more specifically on that, one example I should say is I've heard people in Canada say that they call themselves like a son of Canada. Offspring or creation. And so therefore, person means acting on behalf of some creation, per the son. So person. So yes, it really is that literal. Aren't words fun? Also, here's an interesting clip from Black's Law Dictionary under person. A person is such not because he is human, but because rights and duties are ascribed to him. And I say, you do not want either the rights or the duties mentioned. And we can get into that in another episode. Now let's get into the dirt. A quick mind maybe now thinking, whose creation and what creation? The answer is simple. The state corporation is the creator, and its creations are other corporations / legal fictions. Surely you've heard the phrase child corporation. To be more specific and to stay in context, the creation I'm referring to is the legal fiction named on the state birth certificate. These fictions are child corporations of the corporations we currently refer to as government. Also, on a fun side note, corporation is also one of those words made up of two smaller words and their related meanings. So corpse, dead body, oration, speaking. Yep, dead body that speaks.
Wow.
Like necromancy, like a court summons, like around a seance table. Yep. That calls forth one of their dead things, a corpse oration. Yep. So it can make an appearance, right? Like a seance.
Yeah.
Necromancy confirmed, right? The world of dead instead of the world of the living, like the living body of Christ. No, this is the dead body of this world. Okay, so also to talk a bit about a related word, identify. In the legal world, the word identify means sameness or to be considered as united or associated. And actually, I think I brought this up. Let me see. I think I brought this up in Black's Law. Yeah, actually, I have it right in my screen right here. Black's Law, identity, sameness, the fact that a subject, person, or thing before a court is the same as it is represented, claimed, or charged to be. So it's represented. We'll get into that more later. Anyway, let me try to stay on topic here. So yeah, identification is not a proclamation of what you are. It is a proclamation that you wish to be considered associated with something else. So it's something third party.
Got it.
That's why anyone can identify as whatever they want to, because it's, again, it's you claiming to be something else or equal to something else. Governments have power over their creations, just as we have power over our children when they are young.
Right.
Now you know why a police officer is absolutely trained to make sure you identify as one of the state entities. You know, your first and last name person, because it is this creation of the state that he has power over. He is an agent of the state, given power over persons through countless statutes. That's right, all the statutes. Go crack yours open and go look at all the things that you think control and limit you. It will always and only use the word person. Okay. Yeah. And remember, all these statutes.
Yeah.
The statutes say they apply. Never people, never
I'm
man.
looking at some of my documents right here.
Oh yeah, you're gonna find persons all over the place. It's everywhere. Yeah. So the modern complete definition of person in the legal world is a man considered according to the rank he holds in society. And actually, I will deviate again to bring up person in Black's Law, which I took down the exact page here, 1375 in this PDF. Here we go. Person. So there's what I just read. A man considered according to the rank he holds in society, with all the right to which the place he holds entitles him, and the duties which it imposes. So you don't just get rights. There's duties that are expected of persons. Court duty, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And countless other things. Okay.
Yeah.
And so lower in this definition, I noticed that there is something also that gives it away. I think I already read it. Yeah, we'll skip that. Okay. Oh yeah, the mention of a person is such, not because he is human, but because rights and duties are given to him, so ascribed to him. So just this right here would kind of blow your average person's mind, right?
Yeah.
A person is such not because he's human. Wait, what?
What? Not because he's human?
Yeah. So
wow.
And just this phrase is just one of the little tips of the iceberg to let you give you a hint that there's something else going on here.
I wonder.
And also then, what else was it going to go to? Person, society. That was the other word I'm going to bring up right now.
Okay.
And I took down the page for that, 1638 in this PDF. Whoops. $16.38, and that is right here, society. So I came here because of the reference of society in the definition of person, where it says that your rank in society. So it's a man that is agreeing to accept a rank in society. So I came to the same dictionary here, and tell me what society is. What's up?
I accidentally made that go away. I don't know what happened. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, did I stop sharing screen for a second? Anyway, so what? I mean, I look up in the same dictionary. Okay, tell me what society is. It's an association or a company of persons united together by mutual consent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the key word right there. In order to, do stuff and whatever. But the key word here is consent. They're united together by mutual consent. In other words, if there is no consent, you are not part of the society.
Wow. Yeah.
And now, to continue to deviate, I'm actually going to play someone else's just a 1 minute or so video here. And so that my audio comes through, I'm going to do some little tricks here.
Oh, no.
I
Let me
think
make
that's
this big again.
this.
Oh, wait. There we go.
And I think that's here and here. And now you let me know if you can hear this. Is that audio coming through?
I heard it momentarily, but it looks like it's just frozen right now.
Yeah, I'm pausing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard a little bit of it. So
Okay, so this is a cool guy, and he has these 2 videos recently in the last couple of weeks about the ability to revoke consent for police searching your car, even after you've given it. So okay. So in short, consent is up to you, and it's also a thing that can be revoked at any time.
okay.
So to circle back, to be part of this society is based on consent, and to be a person that even qualifies to give consent to be in the society, you have to accept a rank in their society that is offered to you. And
Wow.
and now I'll just continue on with my blog post here because I think I have some overlap into this. So I think we're right here. Yeah. So yep, that's right. Not just a man, but a man that has agreed to hold a rank in the, and I just say jural society, but it's just the society what we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
What are these ranks? Here's a few: resident, citizen, taxpayer, voter, officer, mayor, sheriff, all the titles in the commercial system. So many other ranks exist underneath the umbrella of the state's fictional world. Always remember, this is a world of make-believe. It has no physicality, right? Like someone doesn't
Yeah.
someone doesn't
Yes.
someone doesn't pop out of their mother and they're a sheriff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a title they take and is taken away then later on
Yes.
when they step out of that office. Okay, so despite this fact of non-physicality, the point of this convoluted system is to enslave you physically and otherwise. And now we get to the how do they do it and how you fall into the trap. So the agents of the state trick you into identifying as one of their creations that they have power over. You are tricked verbally and in writing. For example, simply answering in the affirmative to a police officer's "Good morning, sir," creates what is called a tacit agreement, a verbal contract to you being a sir, one of the ranks in their society. So now you are a person, which means you must obey the statutes that say you must identify as one of these specific creations of the state. Of course, next he will ask for an ID because you've just proven that you were required to.
Wow.
So their trickery of how they get you to identify goes deep. This is why you need to start learning the definitions of words. Words are weapons in their world of fiction. So
Yeah.
and now the crescendo, how to use this knowledge to save your life. Never identify as, I mean, we've pretty much already talked about this. Yeah, so never identify as one of their creations or anything that exists in their physical world. Simply stop volunteering to step into the offices, the ranks in society, like their society, they created for you. It does take some education to know what words to avoid, but it's possible and imperative to learn. Yes, we're in deep. Yes, people continue to say the phrase, on my person without even thinking what it means. Yes,
Without even thinking. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So that implies something you possess. Yes. You so yes, it is your person that is implied at your job. Yes, it is your person who has access to your actually owns your bank account, or not the owner, but the you know the well, it certainly has more authority than you, the man, your person does, on your bank account, and on and on. So we're in deep in these Satanists monopoly game. We go about our days reaching down onto the game board, pushing the silver hat and thimble persons around, playing by the rules of the game, their Jural Society, bitching and moaning as they're taking away our rights. Nope, their system never granted rights in the first place.
We never had them, right?
Yeah, they call them more appropriate what they are, privileges, oftentimes. Yep, only temporary privileges. So billions of people over decades feeling enslaved, and all this time to return to freedom, all we had to do was stop playing the game. That's right. You could have gone home anytime. Just tap your heels, right? I give a wink.
We're not in Kansas anymore, type of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
I give a wink to Wizard of Oz there, because it is
Oh yeah, that's in that.
yeah, you could have gone home anytime. It's an extreme truth drop. It's
Yes.
about this. It's about the legal person hoax. And
Yeah.
then and then this is all like really good stuff. If you want to take a month off of work and read the Straw Man
Where
by
do I sign up?
Clint Richardson, it's so good. It's like thousands of pages. So when you find this kind of info, you kind of get addicted to it, because
Yeah.
this is the red pill. There's
Knowledge
no
is power too, guys, for
this
real.
yeah, this knowledge is the ultimate and final red pill, period.
Yeah, I could see like that is that. I mean, that was amazing right there, and stuff that I don't think I would say 98% of the population are probably even thinking about. Well, probably less than that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or even like it's never even crossed their mind as to how the system is actually structured and working for them or not working for them.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
So now I want to play, and let me know. Can you hear this? Did you hear him cough there?
No.
Okay, hold on a second.
You can pop for him. You want to ad lib or?
I'm doing something pretty interesting here. So let me, no, not that. Where is this? Oh man. Yeah, this isn't coming through. So what I'll actually do,
You want me to try it on my end or?
I don't want to be this lame and have to hold my headphones up to the
I mean, I can try to pull it up for you
microphone.
and do it my way or from
If
my
your
end.
if your audio comes up real easy,
Yeah, it does. So what
yeah,
am I looking
here.
for here?
I'm just gonna. Do you have Telegram open on that computer?
No, I actually got my computer scrubbed with a lot of stuff.
Should I email this to you real quick?
Yeah, do that, please. Yeah.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. And yeah, this won't take long, but I just want to play the first minute of this.
Gotcha. Okay, wait. Hold on just a second.
Bucks.
Bear with me too, because I'll put mine up real fast. Just one sec.
I'm just gonna reply to this thread we've already got going. It's just a direct link to this Odyssey video.
That's not what I'm looking for there. Hold on. I'm having a hard time on, and you know this is how this works too. When you try to share something or get on to speak to the world about it, there's usually technical difficulties, right? So I'm having problems pulling up my email at the moment, which is really bizarre. It's not too bizarre, but it is actually something that seemingly happens quite frequently. This is
Yeah, I couldn't. I
I'll
still.
just type it in. Hold on one second. I'll look for my phone. So I'm not gonna let this hold me back. All right.
Well, it's on Odyssey.com. It's ODYSEE.
Okay. Yeah. 1 second. All right.
And
Now,
can I just put it in the chat? I could probably just put it in the chat here. Like we have a private
I'm
chat.
gonna go ahead and pull it up too. And then what is the?
There you go.
So I've got Odyssey.com up because I'm on Odyssey actually, but I'm having problems getting there the other way. So I'm there.
Just open up the private chat in Restream. I just put a link there.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to Restream. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, this will be.
Where's time here? See, I'm having problems finding it the right way, but there we go. Okay, so now I've got this pulled up. Now let me share the screen. All right. And we've got this going now. Let me go ahead and.
Words
Yeah.
is what you really need to start doing. You need to start doing your homework and understanding. You put an S in front of words, it becomes swords. Words, they can cause trouble. Humans are word control creatures. So we need to establish what words mean. Again, when we talk about law, there's a Roman maxim in law that says, "For he that would be deceived, let him."
I've got to stop this just for a moment. So I get copyright strikes frequently. So I got to break this up into sections for my Fair Use Act. Do you recommend me going into any in particular portion of this?
Oh, I think I can't see that happening with Jordan Maxwell talk.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it. You know what? Even if I did, I don't think I don't lose my time. I don't have to take too long of a time out. So let me go ahead and continue this. I just had to make sure because you know how.
Simply meaning, if you were so ignorant as to be deceived, then that's your business. That's your problem. So you need to do your homework and find out what words mean, especially in relation to law and government. Because there is a world of occultism that is operating today throughout the world, in which you use certain words, and when those words are used in a court, they don't mean the same thing at all.
Okay.
Understanding law and the words of law, there are two things that this planet has: water and earth, water and land. Consequently, there are two kinds of law: the law of the land and the law of water. You've heard the term law of the land, but in fact, that's precisely what this word means, law of the land, because it is the people who live on land. And that is opposed to something else called the law of the sea.
Okay. So we got that stopped.
You can still hear me.
All right. Sorry, I'm like multitasking here. I'm blonde as well. So no, I don't believe in that.
You can still hear me?
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, so just the first minute of that, just to give people a teaser if they haven't jumped into Jordan Maxwell. He makes a lot of references to this topic. I mean, hundreds over his career, and I'm sure he's got much more in detail about it in writing in some of his books. But in his talks, he doesn't go into so much detail. Yeah, it's, and he is also claimed as saying in multiple talks that there is not a single law on any book anywhere that claims to apply to man or woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he knows all about it, but I just think he didn't really focus on it because I think it's too scary. I think the ultimate and final red pill is something that virtually zero people alive want to even entertain.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, of course they are. It's a very scary bridge to cross, much less just encounter and not even knock at the door, right?
Yeah.
That's
Let me
so
see.
true.
Let me see what else I've got in my notes here. I like that someone said they did some research on this topic and they found
Yeah, we
it.
got quite a few that are very familiar with this whole topic and the Matrix itself. So,
Kristen.
yeah, she's a sweetheart. Spoke to her for a couple hours last night, or an hour, something like that. But
No,
I have
really
Ronald
cool.
Layton. I haven't met you before. It's nice to meet you. And also we have need my glasses. Las dosis de cajón. Okay, so yo hablo español un poquito muy malo. Yeah, that means I really speak crappy Spanish.
How do I say I speak no Spanish in Spanish?
No habla español.
I know. Actually, I think I knew that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Lisa, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna search my notes here for something else.
Well, I mean, actually, you kind of cover topics without even realizing you are. Like, I have like questions, and then you'll say something that leads into it. But also, you guys in the chat, if you have, and I know some of you are, gosh, you already, they've offered some really, good knowledge there as well. But if you have questions or anything you'd like to ask Eric as well, you can ask me anything. I'm going to tell you my whole life story though, and it might take for hours, and I know you don't want that. So just fire away.
Well, I am curious because we're still new in our relationship, but we've only been talking for like a week or less. So did you know about this in any broad sense before meeting me?
Not, I mean, okay, so yes to part of this. And now I know who you were talking about when I watched it. I actually have seen him many times. Yes, Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah.
I just, names escape me, especially with whatever we've got going on that invades a lot of our thought process, as well as just staying in the steady stream and flow of just thinking.
Yep.
So, but what you just said earlier, as far as like a lot of this, I did not know. And that is just like, I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, I wouldn't have thought to even pick up on that, without that being pointed out. And that is, especially being, with the jobs I do and dealing with the wording on documents. And even when I sold real estate years ago, that wording and whatnot is just, it's like, wow. Or the check thing that you told me with the name on the check where you sign and that dotted line. Hey, sign on the dotted line. That just hit me. Not sign on the line. They say sign on the dotted line. Wow.
Right.
So yeah, you guys, that line on your checks where you sign, take a little magnifying glass out or zoom in with your smartphone or dumb phone or any phone and see that you are actually not signing on a line. There's not a line there. It is a dotted line, in fact, and it definitely conveys a very clear message that you're not the owner of your financial securities on any level, or yourself for that matter. But
yeah,
it's everywhere.
It says something like authorized agent only, or something like that.
Yes.
And so again, to refer to the Matrix movie and their use of agents. So when you are signing a check, which I realize almost no one does anymore, but still, when you're signing a check, yeah, you are acting as agent of your your legal person, which is a business, which is a corporation in their system. But you, the man, are the agent in that case.
Right. Wow.
Terry,
and I'm totally connecting too with when you said, when I asked you, what are you or what are we? And you said, I'm trying to be the man, how did you put that last night? It was, other podcasts.
Yeah, when you asked me like what I am in relation to like
the best or version of that.
I'm just trying to be like a complete man.
Complete man, there we go. And just even defining it in that way, and then I mean, I don't know. Wow.
So I'm trying to know myself, you could say, like, to use
know thyself, like,
yeah.
Or Adrian, or no, who was it? Mr. Avatar said, know thyself. Yeah. What the correlation there is uncanny.
And isn't it interesting that was basically the first thing that the Oracle pointed out to Neo.
Yeah.
And I think that was for a reason, is because that is the one and only most important truth in this reality of ours
Yes.
here and now, is to know thyself. And
Know thyself, that's right.
if I ask you, who are you, and you pull out a government ID card, you're gone. You're gone. Like, you have no
Yes.
idea who you are.
And I actually have one that I used to, I mean, I was never a person. I was a social security number belonging to, at the time, my husband, who was United States Naval SEAL. Man, I just happened to have my mugshot on there, but I was belonging to the government on every level. You know, you're in everything that you do, if you think of it. That's what it's all about, just belonging to someone else.
Yeah, and it is true like that. You're considered as like their property.
Yes.
But only as long as your consent goes unrevoked.
Right.
But unfortunately, you're dealing oftentimes, for example, with law enforcement, with people who are so in love with the system that they're fighting to protect it. Another Matrix
Yes.
reference, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I was actually, I'm looking at some of them right now, some of the questions with some of those references from the Matrix or the quotes. I wanted to see how you would actually respond to some of them because what I saw was, I mean, there's something hidden in everything, like go all the way to the end of the hallway, get office at the end of the hallway, right?
I've got to watch it again.
Yeah, I
That's
was just, that's
interesting.
something that stood out to me. The office at the end of the hallway, and this is
Go.
in Resurrection, the Matrix Resurrection. I mean, I'm going to wait until you guys watch it, or everyone watches it again, or you watch it again. But I mean, I want to know what your take is on that because that means something to me. So
Let me do another watch, and then we'll talk about that
yeah,
on maybe on a live stream here.
I
Just
think I was
talking
just
about
kind of
Matrix.
going where you are now, but I can't. I don't want to ruin it for people either. So
Yeah. If anyone hasn't seen the newest Matrix movie, I mean, first go do a rewatch of all three. I know I'm asking you a lot of hours here, but I mean, what else is there
it's
to
worth
do?
it.
What else is there to do in this life but improve yourself and learn stuff?
Well,
And you're
slave for Uncle Sam because that's what. Yeah, I mean, I love it.
obviously, yeah. But then
So
once,
much fun. I'm doing my taxes right now, and I just want to throw up. So
oh,
yeah, love
yeah.
you, Uncle Sam.
Well, I'll
No money
never
ever.
tell anyone what to do, but I might hint that there are certain things I don't do.
Oh, I bet that might be one of them. I think I'm not going to be doing that anymore after this.
And
So
I'll just leave a hintful silence after that. There's
we're all
something
upon. No,
there's something
I was being silent with you.
there's
I
something
got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down there.
there's something I haven't done for, I can't even remember how many decades or years.
Like ever,
So,
right? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Man, I should have been learning a long time ago.
And so that actually brings me to another point on my notes here. I won't have to share a screen or anything, but where is it? Yeah, remember the other day how I said that I have a real trouble with like acting without knowledge. And it kind of has helped me in my career. I'm a software engineer, so it's, I have to be really deliberate with what I'm doing. It's infinitely better to do nothing than to build something that is wrong or broken or buggy or because I'll have to redo it. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's just best to just step back and just do nothing,
Right.
because you're not causing harm to yourself or others, right? In that case. And in my notes, I just have yeah. So in my past, I've done things in this life that were well, I should say yeah, I've done things just because other people did them, without thinking.
Yeah.
And let me see. So Yeah, in engineering, this principle is obvious, but it also applies to people and volunteering to be a slave. And you'll notice that all throughout the Bible, I think more so in the Old Testament, it
Sorry.
it was people putting themselves into slavery
Okay, I'm
to.
trying to fix this. Sorry, I don't like looking at my face so close. Sorry. There you go. Okay, go on.
So in the Old Testament, I think multiple times people would put themselves into slavery
Right.
to like pay off a debt or whatever. Um, so it was voluntary, you know, it was something they were doing, and that has continued to this day. So when we're born, or it's actually our mother that kind of sells us into slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the signature on the birth certificate. Your mother is literally signing your life away and giving you to, well, the hands of evil doers. I wouldn't even call them men because there's no definition in that for them.
Yep. And okay, so I'll bring up a movie clip now. And so this is Bliss. Have you seen Bliss?
I haven't.
Okay. This is a major truth drop movie. Let me see. I just downloaded it onto. Right, here we go. No, here it is. And I've just got to reroute my audio.
I'm gonna have to put this back like this. Sorry, it's doing something. It's locking up on me for some reason.
I've got to share my screen. Oop. And so let me know if you can see my screen.
Getting it up right now.
And
All right.
I took down a timestamp. So at 33:50. Okay, so in short, this is a very weird sci-fi movie, but it does carry the same theme as The Matrix, where it's a layered and false reality. And there's a major truth drop in this 1 second here, 33:50. Yeah, so the two main characters, they end up being taken to jail, but like just an overnight thing. And let me know if you can hear that.
Yes.
Okay. And here we go. When they're outside, listen to what Salma Hayek's character says.
Hey, ask me if I gave them my name. Ask me.
Did you give them your name?
No, no way.
No,
on.
I didn't give them your name either. They can't fuck with you
They
if you have
don't
no
need it.
name, right?
Oh,
Okay. So if you didn't hear that too clearly,
she didn't give it either.
neither of them gave their name to the police. And Salma Hayek's character even says they can't fuck with you if they don't have a name. Okay. So it's just another truth drop about and right here on the screen, police, right? So this is a truth drop about law enforcement, is they can't do anything to you unless they have a name. Okay.
Right. Wow. I hope my other investigator's watching because he's an ex policeman, but you get a kick out of this. A lot of it.
Good. I have been dying to develop a network of law enforcement people.
Yep.
Because when there is something that is true, it cannot. You have no fear of it being hidden from anyone, right? The truth doesn't fear investigation, right?
That's right.
So this truth that I'm on right here, that's just itching to explode across the world, and change the world for the better. You know, not only does it not fear investigation, but it needs to be investigated.
Dressed also.
It needs to be gotten some light on, and I actually think that one of my main reasons that I chose to come to this reality is to spread this truth, the final frontier of all, the whole truther kingdom. Like there's nothing beyond this. There will never be a more important worldly fact than this.
Right. Yep.
Okay, I'm back to my screen here. Yeah, so definitely go. I do recommend going and watch Bliss. It's very strange. Um,
I'm gonna make sure I do because that sounds like it's right up my alley with that.
yeah, I know I'm firing a lot of movies at you to see.
Well, I mean, I'm still trying to remember. There's a series you told me about in one of the earlier podcasts, the one with that we had Candy on, which you said to watch, and I'm gonna. That's how I found out what time we were supposed to come on today by rewatching. So it's always good for me to rewatch. But
Severance
Severance,
is
there you
that
go.
one.
That's it.
That's a multi-dimensional truth drop. That is mind blowing.
I really like. I'm already mind blown just from watching Matrix Resurrection. Like I
Yeah,
watched it twice last night. I was up till almost 4 after that because I couldn't go. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So
yeah. After we're done here, you've inspired me to go watch that again. I'm going to watch that in bed tonight, and then
yep.
we should talk about it
There
tomorrow.
you go. I mean, I'm telling you. Oh, and also, not like this. Just remind people what a free mind can do. I'm sorry. That's a quote from the Matrix, but
Yeah,
that's
keep
what
it
we're
fresh
here
in your
for. We're
mind.
here to
'Cause
remind people what a free mind can do.
yeah,
So,
let's me and you talk about that tomorrow after watching. Because
yeah,
I'll
that's
actually I'll take some notes and that means I'll be writing for 2 hours. There's so much.
right.
There's so much. Um,
I don't
so
know why this keeps doing that.
what do I got here? I think I have one more thing to mention. No,
Fire
no.
away. I mean, we're all ears. This is best thing is this is
Oh
how we
yeah,
all learn. So
I found it. Okay, so one last kind of thing to point at that's just a little indicator that something is really going on here and this is true is that certainly we've all heard stories, news headlines of illegal alien, does X crime and gets away with it, right?
mm-hmm.
And in many of those cases, it's because they don't have a legal person in this system.
Yeah,
It's
makes sense.
because not only did they not give their name, it's that they do not have a silver thimble on the board. They don't have a
Right,
name to give to the law enforcement in America. They don't have
right.
an American US citizen legal person for which that can be written on the piece of paper to extract money from. They just don't have a piece on the game board.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for any time you hear one of these pretty common stories of illegal alien, gets in a head-on collision with someone and no repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense because I mean, social security cards, your birth certificate, everything that it's written all over for the common people like us, right?
Yeah.
But they can't have control over everyone, obviously.
And here's
Gotta be a way around all of it. I just don't understand.
well, it's all consent and
Yeah, why do we consent? You know?
yeah. Well, that's why I'm here to help just a couple billion people wake up and stop consenting.
It really wouldn't take much too. I mean, it's just a matter of all standing together and saying, no, I'm not playing your game. I don't want any part
Yep.
of it anymore.
Yep.
So it's not like there's that many of them. So
And then here's another truth drop. I won't bring this movie up. It take me a minute, but certainly many of us have seen Idiocracy. Have you seen that, Lisa?
yes.
Yes. So early in that movie, when Joe finds himself in, I think it's like 500 years in the future, and he's talking to that doctor, quote, the doctor,
I'm laughing already. Yeah.
and it's time for him to pay his bill, and he tries to scan his barcode or whatever. What do they have like printed on their wrist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He says unscannable. He's an unscannable, right?
That's where we're leading already. I mean, we're almost there. It's sad.
So what? So first of all, what could he not do So he couldn't pay, right?
Yep. Simple. Didn't have
Yep.
the right mark, right? No, I'm just kidding.
So
But
he
you know what I
didn't
mean?
have he wasn't marked. He didn't have his mark of the beast. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
that
that's what it is. Still the
I'm not
same.
saying exactly that that's the mark of the beast, but it certainly could
It's an example of it for
fulfill
sure.
all of the stuff. Yeah. So he couldn't pay, and then also what he couldn't do is he couldn't even go to jail. So to
That's
pay
right.
and go to jail, he needed to first become scannable. He first needed to receive his legal person.
I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to watch that one over because I bet you that's filled with all sorts of little pieces of treasurable information,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's been years for me, but I mean,
Truth in media for sure.
yeah, a rewatch of Idiocracy is always a good time.
I just laugh every time. It's just pretty dang funny. But
I,
you know what? Looking at it differently, I'm gonna try it that way.
I love Terry Crews. I like me and him would be almost best friends
Best
in real
buds.
life. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I look at all these movies, especially in the last, actually, probably 20 years. There's so much information hidden within those. So much truth and reality, even if it seems like it's just well, just like the Matrix, off the wall, like no way could that happen. In reality, you know, well, probably you guys wouldn't be surprised, but the world, wouldn't they be surprised, or won't they be surprised when they find out what their reality actually is? So, yeah.
yep. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, it's all in the movies. It seems like the Holy Spirit just like must get the truth out there somehow.
Yeah. Well, and Satan has to also say what he's doing, you know? So he didn't say he had to play fair, right?
And that, yeah, it,
Yeah,
it
I mean
could,
that's to me with everything I see. It's like that's just his way of saying I'm not playing fair, coming right out and telling you, but I'm gonna put a little hint here and a little hint there, and you figure the rest out. I held up to my end of the deal, God. You know, I just feel like a lot of that is very, very much so happening on so many levels, and not just media. Just well, like you said, you know, in the legal system, and just the way they word things and the words and the vibrational frequencies also, it's a whole nother thing. I know I just went off on a tangent, but when you were speaking of words and what Jordan Maxwell was, you know, the different definitions and the meanings, but how about the intent with the vibrational frequency behind it, the effects that also has is what I'm coming to understand, that we put out like the electro, the energy, we put out a certain energy, whether it be through voice or movement or body language, or I mean, it is all just goes all the way back to intent with almost everything, doesn't it? It's crazy.
yep. And so to bring this more in line with your actual channel theme here of like TIs and Morgellons and attacks from the system, like specifically on.
Alien abductees, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I'll
Supernatural.
I'll actually bring up one more video I've got here. It's actually the Animatrix. Have you ever heard of that or seen any of that?
I have not.
Okay, so this came out, I think. Okay, I don't know if it was after the first movie or after the trilogy, but somewhere in there, and it's a collection of some of the best anime, like Japanese animation movies and shows. And what they did is they made a bunch of Matrix themed shorts, and in there is some actual filler info for some of the background on the Matrix universe. And in there is this one, yeah, that one is one of my favorites. It's about this sprinter. Yeah, here we go, 43. So I just have to share my screen again. Okay. And then as soon as I start that, I've got to reroute my audio with my trick here. VLC goes into the mic. You actually see this program I've got, isn't that cool?
It's cool. Yeah.
You
Wow.
reroute audio like, okay, so
I need to learn some tricks.
so at 40, what is it? 4330, yeah, the sprinter. So
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, Eric. When we're done, just don't let me forget. There's some people that did actually put questions out
Oh,
there.
good. Good,
So
good, good.
okay, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Oh, I'm so glad you're watching. I'm just going
Yeah,
on and on
I
with the
realized that
stuff.
they've actually been waiting for a little bit. I was like, oh crap.
Okay,
We didn't forget, guys. I promise. I just
With
looked.
intuition.
Sorry.
here we go. So, okay, you can hear that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just play like hardly any of this.
Only the most exceptional people become aware of the Matrix. Those that learn it exists must possess a rare degree of intuition, sensitivity, and a questioning nature.
Signal is stable. This frequency will continue to remain open.
So I won't play so much of it for fear of your
I'm gonna watch
your
now.
But what I thought is really interesting about this short, about this world record-breaking sprinter, is they go and show him how he actually becomes awake through this wholly different means of just being such a master at his craft. So he's kind of transcended the physical realm, and he finds himself waking up in the Matrix. But during his waking up, see, I'll just tell people to go watch this, and I'll send it to you too. But
Yeah, for sure.
in his waking up, he has the agents attacking him, and as you heard, they said they're monitoring his signal, to make sure he like stays asleep. And so I think this is kind of like what happens with TIs, is the beast system is like detecting that we're waking up, or detecting that we know about them.
Right. That makes. I mean, yeah. I mean, totally.
Yep. And then to really hammer on that point, there's another one in here. Oh shoot, I don't have the timestamp for it. There's another animation in here. I think it's more this way. I'll be able to find it pretty quick.
Okay. I mean, no hurry here,
yeah.
but
Yeah, it's this, and it's actually the classroom scene.
Won't happen again.
My policy. Mr. Popper, what is my policy on ringing phone?
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead a second. And then he thinks he turns it off, but then he gets another call.
I turned it off. I know I did.
They know you know. They're coming for you. Get out. Get out now.
So, yeah, so just another, on the same point, how I think when the system knows we know about a lot of truths
yeah.
that we're not supposed to know,
I always know when they fly over me.
yeah, then
For real.
Then here you go. The Men in Black miraculously show up. You get black helicopters flying over.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very real thing. I don't care what anyone says. You can believe or you can choose to not believe, but I assure you, very real. And I know a lot of the targeted individual communities out there know what I'm talking about, whether you are followed by shiny vehicles with very dark tinted windows, or whether you experience people actually on foot walking towards you or following. And that, Eric, we got to do one on strictly TIs, because a lot of my community here and a lot of the subscribers are targeted and experience, well, and we'll get to the comments here in a second, experience the heights of the targeting, the most extreme areas. And I mean, I experience it still, but some of their stories are just like, oh my gosh, I thought my story was crazy, but it is, and it's It is, and there's something to the subconscious or conscious level, deeming whether you can see, know, or experience any of this, I think. And that's just an opinion. It's a theory. I don't have the answers. Lord knows I don't, but I'm searching just like everyone.
It's one of my favorite topics. It truly is.
Good, good, because again, me being myself one of them, and so many, actually, probably everyone that comes to this channel in one way or another, in some shape or form, have experienced some of the qualities that relate to being targeted. So
It's in another way. I mean, another phrase. It's just spiritual warfare.
I've said that from day one, and you can go
Okay.
back to my earliest video. This is spiritual warfare
Yeah.
at its finest.
And
You can put that matrix in there, it makes sense too. I mean, it is the worst, biggest sci-fi, the biggest sci-fi of science fiction movie / reality, as
sure,
well as
reality.
your own soul is at stake. It's at stake, and they target individuals that are awakened. I hate the word woke,
Yeah.
not to be mistaken for that.
Yeah.
That can see, and I don't even like to call myself awakened anymore, because other people are using that term now.
Yep.
So again, back to like, I don't want to do anything everyone else is doing, which is stubborn of me. But I want to say the eyes to see. Um, you are at war. Your soul is at stake. You are targeted because you are well awake, well aware, even partially, but you have a knowing. And like he says, like, you have always, like in the movie The Matrix, all your life you've known that something was off, right? You've seen it, you know it, it's there, but you just couldn't figure it out. But I mean, then when you reach the level of what reality actually is looking like, and as it progresses, you realize it is spiritual through and through and through. And it's, people don't realize how very even though it's spiritual, it is literal. Your spirit, your soul is under attack. Satan doesn't play. He don't want people knowing. He doesn't want people awake. You are his enemy. And you're like, well, how come this person or that person isn't getting affected by this? Or,
Yeah.
well, why would he have to work on those people, right? I mean, they rest in their peaceful slumber with the newest this and the newest that, the nice homes, and, a trip to
Boom.
Bali.
Yes.
So,
You said it so well. And on the topic of not claiming phrases or words anymore, the actual phrase spiritual warfare, I think, has been so diluted or like incorrectly used.
completely disregarded or
It's like
stealing value from people, right?
so, yeah, and as I grew up, as just going from like one non-denominational church to another, of course I heard the phrase and concept talked about constantly, but that was in the evil church beast system. So of course they weren't even going to be able to relay to me what they're actually talking about. So if a guy stood up on stage and was spouting off great truths that shook the evil system off of you and freed you, and then he told me that there's evil forces out there that are spiritual in nature trying to prevent him from perpetuating such truths, I would have been like, oh, that's what spiritual warfare is. Like, I get it at
Yeah.
age 7. Like, I now know what that is. Instead, I sat there as an idiot in the church
Like us all.
pews until my late 20s or whatever, just not having any real idea about anything, because they're there to deceive you and keep you from knowing anything. So
Yeah.
so when I tell people now that TI is just spiritual warfare, so many
Yep. That's
I
what I say
like,
with Morgellons and everything. It's all connected, and it's connected to your soul.
yeah,
It is under attack in
yeah,
every way, and
yeah,
you are valuable and worthy, and that's why it's happening.
and I feel like I've been one of these TI people for my whole life.
Yeah.
It probably explains some of the very interesting and weird stories I have. But I am so, what's the word? Stigma. that,
I totally get the word now, and I actually like looked it up again and I'm like, that is so dead on.
yeah. So
Yes, for
I
sure.
am so like I'm gonna win. I'm
Nothing's gonna stop me, man.
yeah,
Right?
nothing's
Yeah.
gonna stop me. I don't care what I don't care what you do. You know,
Yeah.
take my arms, legs, eyes, ears, brain,
I say that out loud
everything
all the
could go,
time. Like, I
I'm
am not afraid of
and I'm
you.
still winning. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
Our
Absolutely.
own claiming our position
You have to
in this
be,
realm, which is
yeah.
the master,
And you have to be in touch with yourself. Know thyself, right?
yep,
But I always say, I'm in the fight. And when I say it, I mean it. I mean, I'm invested. I am in the fight. Like, you are not going to you're not going to waver me. Like, I am not afraid, because if you could do something to me, like, really worse than what you already have, it would have been done by now. Like, you want to strike me down, whatever. But it doesn't matter, because this world is not my home and I'm just passing through it. And you
right,
aren't going with me. So,
yeah. What
and
a great
when you can understand how very true that is too, that it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid. It's amazing how things actually start to become more so in your court. You have more control over, when you have control over your feelings, your emotions, and the way your mind goes. You have control over what they can or can't do to you in some respect, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it
do you
also
want to
helps.
address some of the questions here too? You
Well,
think?
and I'll just say one more thing. I think that has helped me to have a victory over this whole spiritual warfare thing is that uh, I don't know when it happened, but my expectations for success or whatever you want to call it in this reality are at absolute ground zero.
You let them
I
go because it doesn't matter, right?
because it yeah because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm not like there's no great goal, no great worldly goal in the
Yeah.
distance that these spiritual battles are going to prevent me from getting to.
Totally agree.
My life is instead just the spiritual battles from one to the next.
Yeah.
And how many minds can I open on the way to the next one? And how many more minds can I open on the way
Yeah.
to the next battle and next
You
battle?
betcha.
The battles for me are life. That's all life is.
It's growth, it's totally living. That's what living is. Yeah.
yeah. So my life that is truly my expectations are truly so low that any comfort and any
Any
luxury
levels of need
is
or wants,
is
right? Gone.
yeah, I consider any level of comfort like a luxury. So
Yeah.
if I have to have everything taken away from me, if I have to uh sleep in a prison cell for the rest of my life,
All
I'm
right.
at that point I'm just thinking, okay, well, what can I do remotely, kind of like a Jedi, using their remote powers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, exactly. I mean,
all,
yeah.
all I'm saying is that nothing's going to get me down, and nothing, nothing can stop me from having a positive impact here.
Because you're in control of you too, and if people would realize that, right? You have your control.
Yeah,
I mean, for real.
and why else would I have come here?
Exactly. Exactly. There's purpose, great purpose and definition behind anyone experiencing that for sure. But I want to bring up that too, Eric. I'm willing to bet. I don't like to bet because I don't like betting and losing anything. But I don't need the
How
money,
much?
so we're
How
good.
much?
But everyone here has either experienced losing everything, experiencing tragedy, or whatever it may be, emotionally, spiritually, physically, have lost so much, something big, significant, something meaningful in their lives that might have been meaningful per definition of man, right? And it seems like when they found themselves in the depths of despair, that's when they found themselves at that vulnerable moment when you become targeted, you know, in quotations. Or when you're in despair, I think, and you're waking up because you have nothing to care about anymore, but everything to feel because your joy and your love and everything, well, that's still working and intact, right? I mean, you have those emotions. So everyone here, I think, in all these communities have lost to great extremes and measures that most people that walk about and have everything never had to worry about. And there's a reason for that. I think there's full purpose for that because this was your journey. This was a chosen journey for you to go down, to walk and experience, because you have qualities and traits that not everyone has and very few will ever know of. So just want to throw that out there.
To continue and build upon what you just said, think about the concept of fasting. So what you're doing is you're preventing your body from having material goods, material wealth. And so when your body is in that moment of having lost everything, then is when it's like you have this like spiritual awakening moment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like fasting is, it's the same as when you go through
When you're
periods
deprived of something,
great
right?
loss in life. Yeah, you lose your job, you lose your wife, you lose your dog, you lose your
I mean,
car.
I lost it all. Not a
That's
wife,
just
but
that's just fasting. That's just worldly. That's just fasting,
it's
but
all, yeah, that's
on a
right.
different level.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Good point. For sure. So, okay, I know these people are probably like, "What? Why aren't you guys like answering?" So, I don't know if you can read any of these. I can see most of
Yeah,
them
I
here.
can.
So, you
But
want to pick and choose, or just kind of not like we're picking because someone's better than the other. It's just like we have a certain amount of time
well,
right
if
now,
you've
and
been looking over, if you've got any questions, let me know that that you've noticed.
yeah, I've seen a few here that comments as well that in particularly are very good, and I'm going to reread through them again later. But
I'm
where
reading right
was
now.
okay? So someone just asked something. I was just on it and I lost it. It says Morgellons is first, but I can't find it.
So you said you talked to this Kristen an hour or
Yeah. Oh,
something?
yeah. She's a friend of mine. Yes. And she
Okay.
knows Candy Nelson as well. She has Morgellons, but she's a lot in the same realm and mindset as us, and wonderful person. She's just a sweetheart. So, where is that? And then she also mentioned maritime law.
Yep.
Okay, how does a
Yeah, I
person?
didn't want
Okay,
to.
how does a
I didn't want to
person
get that
first
detailed
or
today.
fight the evil ones? And this was from Terry 4980. I'm so flipping blind. They took my site, but they
How
can't
does
take
a
my
person
mind.
fight the evil ones?
Huh? We'll put the Googles on here. So this is from Terry 4988. How does a person fight the evil ones? Legitimate question, right?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, what is the battle and what is the evil
How do you
one?
fight against the evil? Things that help, or I think is what she's asking.
Things that what?
Things that would help, maybe. Oops, so sorry. I'm gonna put that comment back up here. Didn't even know I could do that until just now.
Well, I would say, yeah. I mean, there's so many different levels of battles and entities, and in general, anything that is evil is against you. So, I mean, all you can do is continue in good.
Be strong and take it to the Lord, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I would like to know if they're referring to more of like a physical,
physical
uh,
altercation, yeah.
yeah, or something that's definitely just spirit. Um, but the answer on both fronts is with the truth and with light. Um, it's if it's a physical evil one,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Reveal the truth. Reveal their true intentions. You know what I mean? I mean,
We'll do that.
sometimes I would say there's a place for not fighting a battle. If there's no real if the victory isn't worth the effort. We've got the example of if a city doesn't receive our message, just shake the dust off our feet and just leave that city.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Brown, I like his comments and advice as well. It says it helps definitely to, imagine the highest white light, or what he's saying is imagine the highest white light and keep inner speaking to strengthen it over and over. And that makes sense to me.
It's interesting that he uses these words specifically because
Mhm.
I, for a couple of years, I got into learning about telepathy and ESP and some of these like weird things. I read a couple actual books like from the 70s and 80s about it.
I did too. On ESP. Yeah.
Yep. And I actually had this one book that was more of like a workbook, and it had practices that it had you do in incrementing difficulty. And one of them was, imagine an egg of light and love, and it was your job to like mentally construct this egg somewhere, this egg of light in your house. So you actually visualized like where it was, and it was just like I don't know what the purpose of it was, but it was, I think they sold it as like it was like something to help protect your
Yeah.
home from like evil, basically. And so
Well,
I did.
yeah.
And so I did this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm imagining, and I I spent like 2 or 3 days on it. And then one of the neighbors came over, and we were just hanging out in our living room, my living room up there. It was just this small rental I had. And she said, I can't explain it, she said, but I feel like more at peace, and whatever she said, it was obvious to me that it's like, holy cow, does she sense this egg that I constructed?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So I like the wording.
Yeah, what they put, yeah.
No,
Was
they,
that
yeah, they
Anthony?
worded
What that was, Privet? Privet. Saying that right? And I'm looking at some other interesting comments and things. And this person kind of, this Lady de Samunde also is kind of reiterating what you said on the night before last podcast. One target, one person, like kind of like, okay, factor this, like, or did you say that? Okay, am I like dreaming? Did you say it? You were talking? I know.
What is this?
I'm like thinking
I'm
I'm
trying to
dreaming now.
I'm trying to understand what this is here.
I was trying to say it doesn't make sense how we could never hire people to target us, like I that's what I did. You tell me that? I mean, I know this, or did we have this conversation?
Oh, I have a video with me and my sister about this.
Oh, you do? Didn't you and I talk about this?
I'm
sorry. I'm like deja vu or something.
I don't know, but the one of the major points of my sister and my video about TIs was that it's not like a
Like what they
list
think.
of people. It's not like some list of targeted people, and then like people at the beginning of the day go and find out who they're going to be following, and then they go and follow them all day and report on it. Like, it's not some like physical thing.
Yeah, exactly. I swear you and I conversed about this. Like,
Wow.
maybe not.
Maybe.
I know I have a whole video out trying to explain that to people that there would, in no way would that practically make sense.
No way.
We don't have money, tax dollars like that. It doesn't. It's spiritual through.
Okay, I just think we're on the same frequency, or maybe like we've both made the same video.
Super weird. Did you make one? I'm gonna look. I can't believe that.
I have a whole video about that, and you know what?
Wow.
I think a bunch of TIs. I think a bunch of TIs watched it, and had the wrong takeaway. Like, some of them were attacking.
Getting mad is like, no, because my family's involved. Is what happened to me.
Yep. And of course, these would be just like, kindergarten level awake, like people that have no idea about anything, but they kind of know about this TI thing, and yeah, but they don't see that it's spiritual warfare. So of course they're not able to see, because they don't have eyes to see the real truth of the matter, in how it's founded in the spirit realm, and then
I mean, we got like freaking zombies walking around us for real. Like, there are people that are soulless, and I wish the world would realize that is a true reality. Satan's got minions, and they are in meat suits just like you and I. I mean, they are. They just don't have the souls. So, but it's the spiritual aspect of it is what it operates from. It is.
Yep. And another reference to the Matrix movies is that, there's, and you got to see finally in the fourth Matrix movie, you finally got to see the people like jumping out of their windows and suiciding themselves.
Just lost 3 people from the chat. because we're just talking like, saying it's spiritual. I mean, it's really happening. We're not saying it's not. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, people can't handle that when you
The truth.
the truth. Yeah, you can't handle.
You can't handle the truth.
But
Kidding.
for those that are honestly curious and wanting to know the truth, that's actually why I like. Do I still have the Animatrix up? Oh, I do. Yeah, I'll just say definitely watch the Animatrix, and the one that I just played with the kid that was getting the phone call from Neo.
Hmm.
At the beginning of that short, he is sitting at his computer, and oh no, sorry, he's in class. No, yeah, actually in class before he got the phone call. He was writing in his notebook, "Neo, Trinity, get me out of here."
Yeah.
So what I like about that is that's him declaring his intent.
Yeah.
He's letting Neo, which represents Jesus, and Trinity, which represents the Holy Spirit, kind of he's letting Jesus and the Holy Spirit, he's telling God, get me out, like save me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like, save me from this despair. Yeah.
Yep. And so I really think that for us to come to all the truths of Jesus, of worldly truths, of everything, first must come our intent to
Absolutely.
be set free, to be awake to all these things.
Yeah. And then to be truthful in your stand in your truth, like Andy said. Well, coin thing. I mean, I've said that forever, but stand in your truth after you recognize it, embrace it, stand in it, because that's your power right there.
Yep. And the more truth you accept and refuse to give up, the more will be delivered to you.
Yeah. Right. Whew. So deep. Matrix goes very deep, and more deep than I. No, I still have so much more to discover. It's like this is like a never-ending, and like says, the rabbit hole goes deep. It
Yep.
does. And you are not in Kansas anymore, people. By the way, those of you here, I know you're not. You know you're not, so that's why you're here. But it's just, it is a very, very, very hard thing to wrap one's head around and mind around, both physically and spiritually, because we didn't come into this world knowing any of this. Like, we are structured, conditioned, and we were literally like molded and shaped, or some of us, maybe not all of us, because we are the dough that escaped the pan. We're not the cookie cutters. We are literally true to ourselves. But it's hard to break those chains, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's very hard. But it's easy now for me. I don't know at all. It's like anything that's like, they tell me one thing, I know it's the exact opposite. And you'll find that so if you haven't already.
I can't believe you just said that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
It's the exact opposite.
Yep. I was just about to say that the way to know what's true is that you just take what's preached and flip it
Yeah.
upside down.
You betcha. I mean, it is. It's 100%. I mean, I am going to gamble on this one. I am saying, oh, bet it right now. But no, it's real. Like, and also I get kicked off of YouTube all the time. They have no problem taking down, especially when I touch down hard on the truth. Like, it's a compliment, because if they take me down and I'm banned, and keep this in mind for any other channels that you may subscribe to, folks, because that means you get a little bit too close to home there. In which case, obviously, I've hit there a few times. So
Christian,
to me, it's a compliment.
do you see what Kristen has said? I think
Yeah.
she said this like at least twice now, that she's not understanding these chats. I'm thinking, like, actually, I see what she's talking about, because
Yeah, that's why I was going through them and trying to put
we're
the
getting
ones that seemed a little rough.
yeah, we're
Oh.
getting almost no relevant messages to what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, I think so. We have some TI community here. So this is what
Cool.
I'm gathering. And the TI community, they very much like have great information. And I think 2 or 3 of the people here are probably on some of the platforms. And So when we mentioned something from the Matrix earlier, I know where the connection came with them, and then they got off on that, basically saying we all have kind of superpowers, and we do. So I think that's where the misunderstanding came in. So, and then they got to chatting with each other, which is great because the more
Okay.
chatting of anything, I don't care if you say fart 50 times, as long as you're saying something, it helps this get out there, and the world needs to know about it. So
Yeah, no big deal. And there's not much chat in general, but I think this video will continue to live on
Oh yeah.
after it's posted. So it's an hour and a half now. Do you want to cut this off soon and maybe just do these more
Yeah, we got
frequently?
so many things that we can do and bring to the table, and I think that we gotta keep it simple. Stupid is what they tell me all the time. So I'm like, I guess I'll have to.
Okay,
But
yeah.
no. So we'll break off for here.
So that's my extremely shallow intro to the fact that we
So that was perfect.
are in the Matrix right now. Every one of us has at least 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I don't even think the Amish are fully out of the commercial Matrix system.
Yeah.
It's like all encompassing.
Very much so. Yeah, that's what that would be a good topic too, for sure. Like, there's a lot, man. My brain sometimes hurts when I think about it so much. I just like, ow. But I mean, we got to.
Yeah.
The world depends on it, for real.
So also, I'll say, any law enforcement people that you are friendly with,
You have two on
man,
here.
let's have a conversation about their direct agents of the Matrix. Let's have a conversation about informing them of such, so that they can be blessed with such knowledge and take whatever profit they can from it.
I got two watching right now.
Great.
And I'm bring some busload more to the table for us, or for
Great,
you.
great. I want to stand in front of 1,000 law enforcement people at a conference someday and inform of these facts. I want to correct the ultimate evil that has been done to all of man, and that is primarily
100%.
this lie.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna say amen, because even those words. So that's another podcast. But yes, Eric, that is so. Yeah, you need to stand in front of thousands of people, and that's why we do what we do, guys. And you have voices, use them too. And I know most of you are those people. And just don't think that they're going to stop you or that you can be stopped. You are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. That is a frame of mind to think that you can be stopped. You're unstoppable ultimately. So just stand in it and do it. And don't be afraid. There is nothing to fear. They cannot touch you in a whole different aspect is what I'm referring to, but it will never affect what's yours ultimately. What's coming later. Let's put it like that. All right. Anything else? Or?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you once again, always, and thank you for sharing a wealth of knowledge. And we look forward to hearing much more. And apparently, as long as you've been at this, like, I'm just gracious because I delve in, but there's only one of me, and it's not near as long of time or investment as you have. And so thank you again. And I know everyone here is very gracious as well. So
Cool.
Thank you guys in the chat and watching. And just know you're loved and you're important, you're worthy. And I appreciate you more than you know for supporting me all this time too. So, because they were here with me from the very beginning, and they know, like, that girl, she crazy, but could look that way. And I'm not. Just trying to be real.
Hey, when I discovered you, I loved listening to your, I could just liked listening to you talk about all this crazy stuff, because your take on things is so similar to mine, and it's fun to hear someone that's
how I feel when I hear you talk. I'm just like, me too.
It's just so fun to hear someone talk about how they see what you see.
It's crazy just to know.
So
It
much
makes
fun.
you feel good too to know you're not alone, right?
Oh my
I
God.
felt so good to know, like, things you were experiencing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. So
yeah. It's the people of this generation, that the people that are influential adult age right now, that were born here to free the rest of us.
Yeah.
And one other thing I'll go and tell people to go watch is Silent Running by Mike and the Mechanics. It's a music video. And at the beginning of Silent Running, there's I think they portray, I think he's about 5 years old, this little boy at his birthday party. And they so it's obviously his birthday. It's later in the day then, and they show him just looking up to the stars through a window. And he gets a knock on the door. He goes to the door after looking up at the stars, and this giant answers the door. And he's got this like multiplied voice. So the fact that he's a giant and he's got this doubled up multiplied voice, it's kind of obvious that they're portraying an angel.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what he says to the boy is, you don't know me, but I know your father. He wanted me to give you this. And the implication there is he knows his father, God in heaven, right?
Huge. Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
And he reaches down to this little boy who's turned maybe just 5 now. And he opens up his hand and he puts a key in his hand and he closes his hand. And then the boy looks down at the key and looks back up, and the angel, the giant, is gone, disappeared. And then the boy is just looking back up at the stars again.
Wow.
So that's how I see myself.
Yeah.
Is I'm that little boy, came here. I've been given the key.
Yeah. Share with the world.
That can unshackle all of Earth. Period.
Yep.
I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not exaggerating in any way. I mean, literally, I have the key, and
Totally.
it is simply that we are putting ourselves under slavery, much like how they did in Old Testament times.
Thank you. We are living in the Old Testament. We are living there, and it's funny that you said all that too. I feel like there are so many of us that were placed here specifically for the reasoning of sharing and waking and trying to just get as many as we can to come to the light. As stupid as that, and you know what I mean. I mean, this is life or death, and not in physical form that we're speaking of. This purpose here in the flesh suits that we wear is meaningless whenever you don't have the soul, wearing the suit. I mean, the soul is the only thing that matters. The suit is an ornament and a vehicle. So just need people to know that.
Yep.
They can't hurt us anyway. They have no power over us.
Yep.
I like to say that all the time.
Yeah, I see it as we are divers with like an old school brass helmet, and there's the
yes,
oxygen line going up.
That's a good way to put that. Yeah.
And if you're familiar with David Wilcock's work, he's mentioned multiple times the silver cord, and that is the actual connection of our soul to our pineal gland. That goes up to heaven then. And then when you supposedly die, you see this white light at the end of a tunnel. He said, well, that's maybe just your soul like blasting back up the silver cord back up to heaven out of here.
Right.
And then we supposedly we had God breathe the breath of life into us to make us alive, and I see that as, okay, well, yeah, I'm just a diver down here. I got the breath of life going through the tube.
Right. That's right. That's all right. That's a good way.
And just like
I'm maneuvering through the waters right now. So
in a foreign land. Yep.
Yeah.
And only down here temporarily, much like a diver knows that they're just down there for a short time before they go back up.
Right. So that's a very good analogy. That right. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Wow. Like that. So yeah, truth, people, truth. So, and it will set you free.
Yeah.
Really, like it will. It'll break the chains. So I already said that, but you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? Or did I throw it down? I can't remember.
I'm
So.
picking it all up. All right. Well, we should end it now. And then when do you want to do this again? Just in another 2 days or so?
Yeah, and see, Kendi and I are always Fridays too, so maybe we should do the three because she was gonna possibly join tonight, but she hurt herself. So
Let's just do Friday then.
sure, yeah, perfect. So
Or
Friday we're gonna
if you
do.
two just want to do Friday.
No. She loved you too. So I mean,
Okay.
like for real. So Friday, like we'll shoot for 7.
Okay.
So, yeah,
1
try my
hour.
best.
1
Does
hour
that work for
earlier
you?
than 1 hour earlier than this start. So it's 7
Oh, 7 Central. So yeah,
7
hour.
Central. Okay.
So it'll be 8 your time, or we can do 8. I
No,
mean,
it's
honestly,
whatever.
Candy and I struggle with the time on that always because Friday is always hard for me. Period. For some reason, something always happens. But actually, we didn't have any issues. You and I in her last time. Well, maybe little, but so it's getting better.
Okay, 7 Central.
7 Central time. So
Friday.
Friday. See you
Yeah.
Friday, 7 Central.
Cool.
All right, guys. Have a great one. Thank you. Stay blessed. You are blessing me for sure, and thank you, Eric, for blessing me as well.
Thanks.
Appreciate everything. So.